Alright. This is going to be a super fast stream. Just demonstrating the progress that I've made on my game. Life has been kind of busy lately, but I've still been making progress. So, for starters, I'll just show it off. I've just been starting with the UI. So I've got a profile select. These are just profiles that I've created. I can just type in a new one. Let's and now that is there. I can select it. There would appear to be a bug with that. This bug has only just started occurring now. Such is the way of game development. I can add new still. We've got a party thing. Don't worry, I don't intend to leave any of this as it is. This is just placeholder UI stuff, just default Unreal Engine stuff. Can add up to 4 players, and we've got matchmaking, which currently doesn't actually find more people. As you can see, it put 2 people in. I'm not sure why it didn't put 4. Again, a lot of this is still being ironed out, but I've got split screen and online multiplayer working. To demonstrate the online multiplayer, I'll just bump this up to 2, so it'll have 2 windows here. So we'll put Joe Smo and Noob in here, begin matchmaking. We'll have John and the Arbiter begin matchmaking. And they're here. Oh. Well, they, again, I still have to do a lot of testing and stuff. It's decided to whip out a lot of new bugs in this recording session, which is, you know, typical, I guess. I don't know what exactly. Oh, okay, yeah. Right. I think I know what's going on. But basically, the point is to demonstrate that I've got 2 separate player sources that are able to connect with one another. One of them is split screen. I would be able to control the one over here if I had another controller plugged in at the moment, but I don't. But yeah, I can switch over to this one, and it works. Right. Basically, obviously I only just started developing this a little bit ago, so there's not really anything else to it at the moment, but I just wanted to show that there is actually progress happening. I will mention again, because the other live stream was really long, and I don't know that anyone would really have watched through the whole thing, because you know, most people don't really enjoy long streams and sit through long rants and stuff, so it's unlikely that anyone who does watch the stream would stick through the entire thing. But, so I'll reiterate, theater is a feature that I would like to add and am going to try to add. I'm not sure that my level of experience is sufficient for me to successfully make it function. So that is one area where I'll definitely... It's unlikely that I'll actually one-up 343's work in that regard at all. It might be comparable to Halo 5 and Halo Infinite's theater if I do end up making it where it might be a little jank and a little inaccurate. I'm going to do my best to try to include the feature though, and try to make it reliable and accurate. And same with Forge. I don't know that I'll be making Forge nearly as complex as Halo Infinite's will be, but I am definitely going to try to give it as many of those kinds of features as possible, but maybe in a little bit more player-friendly of a system they currently have. 343's gone the route of making it more akin to development tools in general, which I think is kind of the wrong direction to go. So I am not going to be making Forge quite so much like dev tools, and well, it'll still have a lot of dev tool levels of functionality. I think I can make it a bit more intuitive than the designs they've had, because they, unlike most of their menus where they do not put enough in immediate accessible areas, like this is based off of Reach's main menu layout, and look at all the stuff. This is exactly what Reach had as far as selection goes. They crammed all this on the main menu. Meanwhile, you look at Halo 4, 5, and I think Infinite as well, where they might have like campaign and matchmaking as yeah, it's still the UI is very bare bones, so bear with me. They might have campaign and matchmaking be like the options, and then in the matchmaking area they've got the custom game and Forge stuff as well. But like they keep making their UIs so you have to constantly switch through a bunch of different menus just to get between the selection that you have just right off the bat in Halo 3 and Reach's design. So but like I was trying to say and then rabbit trailed, for some reason they make the opposite mistake with Forge, where they give too much information. They have too many options just right there in your face with Forge, which could potentially be better for streamlining certain things, but it serves a different effect, and that is to absolutely overwhelm your average player, which I intend to try to achieve a better balance between function and approachability, because the more common the forger, the more stuff there's gonna be for the game. So I'm not gonna let people play, like, this game isn't going to be ready without Forge and custom games functioning properly. So I'm not going to do the Halo Infinite thing and be like, here you go, here's a Halo game, but there's no Forge. I do intend to have Forge. That won't be very difficult to develop, I don't think. It's funny, I thought that where's the right? It's project settings. I thought that the third person, or what was it? See, look, I thought that this was going to be difficult, but it's already built in. You can just have split screen. As just a thing. I can literally just like add another, player controller, and then boom, split screen. But yeah, basically I'm gonna make sure that Forge is in the game and that it functions similar to the older Halo Forge things. How it worked in 3 through 4. As far as UIs go, it's going to be a lot more like that than how the newer ones are. But I still intend to make it have a lot of that scriptability and flexibility that it has in the newer titles. I'm just going to try to make it easier for people who get overwhelmed easily to actually be able to look at it and know what they're doing. Because I think that really did Halo a bit of a disservice, which might be part of the reason why they started undervaluing it, is that it probably just didn't have enough of a, popularity to it, because of the fact that a lot of people who normally would still make a Forge map back in the Halo 3 and Halo Reach days, probably I can say I am one of these people, but wouldn't make something in Halo 5 or Halo Infinite's Forge because it's just so overwhelming. Which, it's ironic that I was overwhelmed by that, and yet Unreal Engine does not overwhelm me quite so much. But yeah, I intend to get Forge to work in a nice, cohesive way that people can do. I am going to make Firefight, and it's going to be the best Firefight Halo has ever seen. I say that confidently because of the fact that the firefight in Halo Reach was really good, but there were limitations due to basically Halo Infinite could do firefight better than Halo Reach did if they wanted to, because of the fact that they actually have more dynamic AI pathfinding sort of stuff going on. Suppose they did have firefight maps and AI stuff. Basically, my firefight... Sorry, hiccup. Burp thing. My firefight basically is gonna be forgeable, basically. Forge and firefight, except it's going to be more of like firefight's just like a different style of custom game. This separate section might just be removed because it might literally be just a different game mode. But as I've mentioned earlier, this is basically just, I took Halo Reach's list of things that it has right at the beginning and slapped those here. But yeah, so I think that's everything I was really gonna say. This party menu obviously looks pretty hideous, as well as the profile select. It's not going to be quite as ugly in the future here. It's going to actually do a bit more like what Halo 2 and Combat Evolved did, where basically you'll get you'll be able to see kind of like a representation of your character, your emblem, and a couple other bits of information on the tile. It won't just be a tile with a name on it. There'll be a lot more to it. Yeah. As of right now, obviously, there are some bugs that I ran into during this live stream that I intend to resolve pretty much immediately after I stop the stream. It's actually quite handy when bugs like that are caught on recording, because then I can go back and remind myself in case I forget one of them. But you'll also notice right now when I hit begin matchmaking and all that, it just goes right into a game instead of looking for players and like building a collection of players to go into the session once it's like a full roster. That is something I still have yet to make. Mostly I just set up the matchmaking menu so that it could create sessions, and I could probably test multiplayer functions. Also, I know some of you who do work with Unreal Engine might be looking at the fact that I'm using the third-person base. You might be like, "You idiot! What are you doing? There's literally a first-person thing." I chose to use the third person instead of first person for multiple reasons. One of them being that I'm quite a bit more familiar with working with the third person characters. I know them in and out, and I know what I want to change to get them from here to the proper like Halo feel. I have created a very Halo feeling character before. And I intend to replicate that. It just works better to do that from a place that I already am familiar with. Additionally, this way I can actually see other characters moving around and see a bit more of their behavior without having to worry about, it just being a single gun just floating in the air. And arms. As far as that kind of stuff goes, I'm not sure that I will be using a view model system. Depending on how well I can design it, I might make it so that the third person and first person models are one and the same, to minimize required replication and complications between server and client. But if that proves too complicated, I will still be able to, of course, make a body and head disappear if I need to. So that won't be too complicated, but I'm gonna start from the third person character. And if people are wondering, okay, well, why are you using Unreal Engine 4 instead of 5? It is a good question. Again, it has a lot to do with it being something I'm more familiar with. And I just feel Unreal Engine 5, as many nice features as it has, there are some things that don't quite work the same that I still haven't figured out. So I'm going to take some time to figure that out first before I convert this to Unreal Engine 5. And I'll just convert it because they did set it up so it can just be carried over. And so yeah, once I really know Unreal Engine 5 inside and out, then I'll just switch it over, and I might have to fix some stuff, but I think that'll be better than just having to relearn some things while also trying to figure out how to make a Halo game in the process. Like, I think it's just a little too much to be learning a new engine and making a new Halo game. So that's that. Thanks for tuning in.